Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. Audrey and Dave here from 1824 Walker Farmhouse. From the last time I talked to you, we had crazy snow, and now it's finally melting. We have run out of our square bales hay, and we are so fortunate. Our neighbor Todd, who does supply our square bales, has round bales, and he delivers the round bales. So we're just going to have to get those for a little bit until the grass gets going. Oh, and look at them. They're all so happy. Oh, I just saw a deer run down. So in today's video, we're going to share with you what we're thinking of doing to refresh our kitchen. We want to do some things we just didn't complete. We have some little changes, some big changes, and we're both really excited. And I have to laugh because we already changed our mind on something since I recorded this.
Hon, we're going to refresh the kitchen. This wall's very bare, and we're going to put a mantle here. We had one before. We had a big cupboard that made our kitchen 14 inches smaller. But that's not coming back. But the mantle's coming back.
Yeah. And are we going to use the same mantle, or you want to go out and look for one?
Well, right now, I think we're going to use the same mantle.
That was here before.
That was here before, but we're always looking for a mantle.
Right.
So it's currently up our store.
And I have a picture of that. I'll show that on here, and you can see where the marks were, like right there. It never came out.
Yeah.
And then we had to mess with the trim to match it up after the mantle went out. And the reason we took the mantle out, because I wanted up the shop.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find one.
No.
We couldn't find an old mantle. I don't know.
We got that one locally at an estate sale or.
Yeah, so we're hoping to.
Yeah.
If we put another one up here, that would be local.
Yeah, which is our goal.
And then, though, after the mantle, since we took it out to use it, that's when we had the cupboard where you're at. And it came out pretty far.
Right.
And I do have a picture of that, and I'll show it on here. Now, it's all up at the Walker house.
It's a very nice cupboard. We love that cupboard.
Yes, we do.
It made our kitchen smaller.
Yeah, because right where you're standing, actually, cupboard, and then there's a table underneath it. And just panning over, our refrigerator was not counter depth, and now it is. And so it stuck out. And so when the whole family was here, you can pour, when the whole family was here, it was way too tight. So we've had an empty wall for a long time, and we went back and forth with wallpaper, which we've had, and I will try to get a picture of that. Said I'd never wallpaper again. Stenciling, when we get tired, the mantle, believe it or not, is easy.
Yeah, it's easy for us.
Yeah, right.
Well, this space here used to be our front door before we added on this room. And this is affectionately known as our corgi door because it keeps the corgi confined a little bit. We have trim. We're going to replace the trim in the kitchen. It's the fancy farmhouse trim or whatever we call it. And we're going to go to a single bead trim that we saw somewhere. And Audrey liked it, and I liked it, and I said, I can make that trim, so I just buy a board and put a bead on it, and we like it. So that's where we're at so far, right here in this little corner. Okay, as we stand here, we notice there's a hole here that is part of our security system. When this didn't become our outside door, we had it moved to the outside door. Down below, this had an aluminum threshold, and that when I was taking it out, I beat that up a little bit. And for a long time, that's been on the to-do list, but it's going to get done.
And should we paint that green?
Yeah, we can paint that green to
I
match
guess it would be woodwork then.
yeah, and it'll blend in better.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. So we are not really nitpicking. We're going back to
Just the to-do list that never got done.
Yeah.
And I'll take the
the
blame
little.
for that.
Well, I'm the one that said go ahead and just, sponge out to match the wall, and yeah, I could even paint it green then. And I noticed, like, I never went back and fixed these little, just like little marks, because I thought I would paint it green. But here I noticed, look at that red.
Yeah, that's from way back.
Here we go, red. Our whole house was New England red. All the trim. And we've switched it to the green.
Okay, our next one of our projects is this kitchen counter's seen its day. It's warped a little bit and it's sort of losing its finish, and it's hard to keep clean. And Hunter, these cabinets going to get painted green, maybe?
They have been. Well, when I painted these, everybody thought I was crazy. Honestly, I painted cupboards before anybody painted cupboards.
Yeah, you did.
And they're good cupboards. They were dark oak. And then when we got the beams in the kitchen, it really made the kitchen dark with the dark cupboards. So that is my original color, this off-white. And then I saw in a magazine red. I painted them New England red. And then I painted them green. And I love the green. It's a colonial green that we have all through the woodwork. And then I got tired of that, which is why I'm like scared to wallpaper over here, because I have wallpapered friends' houses, our house, many, many rooms. So it's not that I don't like wallpaper. I get tired of it. And even the last time we had it on for like 10, 12 years. It's an investment, and it's even more now.
And it was removing it was an issue.
It was something.
Yeah.
So, which is why we're going back to the mantle idea on that wall. But I don't know if I paint these green, if I would get tired of it. And then I didn't paint them right. And the last time we did these, I did paint them right. Except, like you said, I used a cheap paintbrush, and I probably shouldn't. You can see the strokes. But they do need washed, and they do chip, I think, on some of the... And you made the handles. We got new handles to make it look more colonial. Oh, there's a little red there. Oh my gosh, it's so dirty. It really needs cleaned. They need a good scrubbing.
And back to we have a dishwasher, which we have well water, and it's an issue. It's limey or something. The dishwasher gets this white buildup in it, and
It doesn't work good.
Yeah, so the dishwasher's coming out too.
Yep, and I would love the shelves there, although I have plenty. It's only two of us, but we do have a lot of, we use...
You cook and bake a lot, so it's...
And our kitchen is a workhorse. It has to be a workhorse for me.
Yeah.
And we have a saying, David and I, fashion or function. And sometimes it's a battle in the kitchen, because we both want it to look lovely, but it's a workhorse.
It's a used kitchen. It's a cooking and baking kitchen. So
yeah.
We also, did you do a YouTube on our window?
No, I didn't, but it is.
Okay, this window is a replacement window. It was 8 inches smaller on each side at least, and I put that window in about 40 some years ago and thought it was still a new window. And anyway, when we were down over the hill looking up for the set of binoculars, we saw it was starting to get a hole in it, and it needed replaced badly. So it turned out to be a major investment, but we got a larger window and
love it.
no regrets.
Right. And the sink, it looks small compared to the window, but that window is the largest, what is that, casing? Double hung you could buy, so that you could have installed. So our sink looks little, but it isn't. So right after we put the sink in, the farmhouse sinks came out. And they were, when we put that sink in, it was really a big sink for a porcelain sink in the day. But if I get a new countertop, I probably would get a farmhouse sink.
I think.
Yeah, and real big. And I really would like a wormy chestnut countertop. I don't know, we have to try to look for the wood.
Yeah.
Our floors are wormy chestnut, and we had a microwave there, and we took it out, and that's wormy chestnut. And my coffee area is wormy chestnut. I love it. I love it for a counter. I just love it. So I know that might be a little investment. We'll have to see. We found enough for the floor.
Yeah.
And but we're definitely keeping the beams. And everybody thought I was like a 70s girl when I put these beams in. They're like, oh, I even had some friends like, you're going to put beams in? And I'm still happy that I did. And yes, I am a 70s girl.
we like it. We like it. It's us.
Yeah, we love it. And I'm keeping the chandelier. And keeping the furniture. So that's this year's goals for the kitchen. I don't know about the sink though, because if I get in my head I want wormy chestnut, that might take a while. We have somebody to do it though, so that's good. That's half the battle anymore. But and we had cupboards on each side of the window before and gradually took them off. And at one time Dave and I were talking about all freestanding cupboards and taking everything out, replacing the cupboards. These cupboards, honey, are
78, 77, I'm thinking.
And they're solid wood,
Yeah.
beautiful oak. And we went and looked for new cupboards. Didn't see anything we ever liked. They didn't meet David's standards.
Not to be self-righteous, I don't think you can. Well, we couldn't afford a cupboard like this anymore.
Oh my gosh, yes, they're like really good wood cupboards. And so, yeah, okay, so that's our kitchen. That's our kitchen goals for 2025, but maybe not the top in case, you know, I rather wait. I rather wait sometimes and get what we want. David wanted the floor. He wanted a wormy chestnut floor. And we had to wait a little bit to get it. And our linoleum was bad in here. You know, we're talking 3 kids and a million friends here, and we were the farmhouse that the kids came, and we had 4 dogs in the house at one time, 4 little corgis. So we did it. We got the floor, and I just think it would look really nice. And I'm concerned if I paint those green, it's going to be too dark, because the older I get, the lighter I like things. I like light in here, and I don't want to defeat the purpose of that light.
Yeah, it's stay tuned.
Yes. Okay, so that's our 2025 goals for the kitchen.
The backsplash is going to be something done with it. We used to have fake brick, but we got rid of it. We were thinking stone, but it would be hard to. The brick was hard to clean. Stone was
Stone
just
might
as
be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're thinking of a bead board. We could be right down, maybe.
Yeah.
So
if we got wooden, and what if I painted it green?
Yeah.
And left the cupboards off white? It would be contrast there.
Yeah.
And
this little strip has a story though. This matched our cupboards.
Yes.
Very well.
Here. That's how dark our cupboards were.
So now, like.
Oh, and I thought that was something when we got that little strip in there, honey.
Yeah, we did. We loved it. We still like it, but it doesn't fit.
No.
So,
Oh. Yeah, so that might be an idea as beadboard. You love beadboard.
I do like beadboard.
You've always loved it.
You thought of it, like I said, right after the stone, but we thought, man, it's a working kitchen. And,
I really need something I can wipe off.
yes.
I really need something I can wipe, which I do.
It would,
And the whole kitchen needs painted again.
yeah.
Okay. So let's keep in mind that our home started out as a horse barn, and David had put on a few additions. So when he was putting on the additions and redoing the horse barn and making rooms, it was the 70s. He put ranch trim up. And when we got into the antiques, he wanted to change it out. And I thought we could just find the trim out of a house that was being demolished, or because you couldn't find it anywhere. We didn't even have a Lowe's by us or a big box store. You couldn't even find trim like that. And eventually then he said, I'll just make that trim. He's right. We saw it somewhere, and he said, I can put a bead in a board. And so then we wanted to replace all the 70s trim into the beadboard trim. Now, when he put on the addition in the front room, we did find a local mill, and they made this trim. And he called it Farmhouse trim. And we thought, we have a farmhouse, that's good. But we didn't love it. So eventually, Dave has been changing out the trim every room that we redo. If they were paneled, we've been getting the rooms drywalled throughout our married life living here. And he's been putting on the bead trim. All the house had red woodwork in it, and we changed it all to green, and we are now changing even more rooms to green, but we will leave the living room blue. It's almost like you need a program. But the green did not look right with the blue 1700s paneling in the living room. And here's David and I discussing everything, what we think we should do, and trying to make our minds up. This is the blue cupboard that was in our kitchen, where David was standing, where the empty wall was. And that table was underneath it. And I didn't even really think, we didn't move it up there at the same time. I didn't even really think like, oh, then we did the same thing up at the Walker house. We had the blue cupboard in storage for a while. It's a little rough on the edges, but we both absolutely love it. And Dave loves it so much. He just loves blue painted furniture. You can see this little table. We use it as a side table in the kitchen, and really it's probably 20 to 24 inches wide. It was just too much with the other table and chairs. And this is the mantle that used to be in our kitchen. We moved it up to a shop, and Dave made a little area up there, and oh, I just love it. I don't know. I'm not so sure about bringing it back into the house. I just love it there. You can see a little bit of the red that's peeking through. This was a local mantle. Well, the flea markets are coming up, and we're going to be going more to antique shows and stores. So I'm thinking maybe we will find a mantle for the kitchen. That's the wall we want to do first in the kitchen. I thought when we moved the blacksmith hooks over and I would put things on them that it would fill that wall in, but it's really bare, and we both really would like to see it filled in more with things or something. Or we did, like I said, we thought of stenciling wallpaper, and we had a mantle there before, and we just thought, well, let's just go with the mantle. Oh, and you can see the red peeking through. And then the question is, how do I finish the inside of the mantle? So I use that peel and stick inside the mantle of our family room, and oh, it's way too white. And I actually took black paint and thinned it down and smeared it on the peel and stick. And I really did not like peel and stick at all. But I do love this mantle, so we also, like for a split second, thought, oh, maybe we'll move this mantle into the kitchen and find another mantle for this room. Are you still with me, friends? Okay, that was a bad idea. But if I wanted to finish it, I could. I do have probably enough for that pill and stick, and it's okay. We don't want to bring the mantle out and put a fake fireplace in. We just need something flat there, and it would be fun to decorate it with a blacksmith hook above the beams in the kitchen. So I think we're going to stick with the mantle idea, and the hunt is on. And it would be fun to take you along with us looking for a mantle. We have a couple places we think where there might be some. Well, bear with me, friends, because here's some pictures of what our kitchen was. This was in our kitchen. I found quite a few. My computer, though, was not talking to my phone and wouldn't transfer over the picture, so I took pictures of the computer with the pictures on it. Look, here's the red. How exciting is that? And then we put this primitive cupboard up in the corner. So that was like my red phase. And yes, we had a wooden door on that dishwasher. We've had maybe 3 or 4 dishwashers, and they just don't work with well water, so we're just going to get rid of it. And then before that corner cupboard, I took the doors off these kitchen cupboards, and those were on the right side of the kitchen. And then I filled it up with my yellowware. And then we did go, you could see a little bit of the green woodwork, and I still love that green woodwork. And I've had different stenciling on the wall. We had a friend that did it. He's the one that did our mural. He did my hall, and he just loved doing it. And here's the woodwork, but the hall was mustard woodwork, but the first 3 rooms were all red. And this kitchen is an addition that they put on the horse barn. You could see the bricks behind the original cupboards and the color, and it was paneled, and it was very dark with the beams when we put the beams in. The next thing we did was we painted the paneling, stenciled it. Dave put a chair rail up, and underneath the paneling was drywall. So we eventually took the paneling off, and I wallpapered the whole kitchen. It was Carol Endress wallpaper. Absolutely love her, loved her things. I sold them in our shop, and I was in my country face. And here is the mantle in our kitchen, and a friend had painted the insert. I had fun looking through these pictures. That's when we were having a tea party. I used to have ladies' tea parties, and I really want to get back to that. But isn't that wallpaper fun? I don't know, friends. Sometimes I think we just go full circle. And I was so excited to find this picture. If you could look on the left-hand side, there's a little bit of green. There was green. And then when I saw that, I thought, oh, I maybe want to paint the cupboards green again and not the white. But we would probably just get the new counter anyhow and then decide how we're going to paint them. But this wall first. I am going to change some things up that are, mix a little more of fashion and function. This is our coffee bar area, and that's why it was sort of, you saw the coffee drips underneath it because I drip things. I drip the coffee, but it's where I keep the grounds or granola. But look at this counter surface. It is just, I love it. I just think it's beautiful. And this counter is used as much as the rest of the kitchen because it is our coffee counter, and I'm always using it. My butter's there, the salt and pepper, my creamer, my other butter container. That's back to like fashion and function. But my kitchen really is like a working kitchen. I keep my spices out that I use these 3 all the time. They're from our herb garden, and I'm redoing this corner a little bit. I like my eggs there. I like my napkins there, but I still have fun with it. I have the cutting board that I use all the time. I have those paddles from the auction. I got those at Sorgel's. I have those in there. So I do try to mix it up. I'm redoing this. I have a lot of jellies and jams that I want to put in there, and I'm going to move those bean containers. I want to keep all those sheet pictures to the left, and we are going to keep the cupboard here. We are going to change out. That's where you put the paper garbage. in the Jersey box. We're going to move that because the lid always makes dirt on the wall. And I'll probably move those bowls over to the dry sink. And I'm thinking of moving my sheep. This area is just a little bit, I'm going to move that around a little bit. Looking back, I am so happy that we didn't find new cupboards because since then we've taken more of the cupboards out that were on the wall. We took out our microwave that was above the stove, changed that whole look. David made a thicker trim for on top of the cupboards to make them look more colonial. And I love them. I really like how it is. I'm all excited for the new refresh. I'm excited to go look for that mantle and fill that wall in. I think it's just going to be, oh, I'm just so excited. I just got done making date bars. Does anybody eat date bars anymore? I did put that on Instagram, and a lot of people were like, oh, I forgot all about those. I love them. I love those old fashioned recipes that are easy, not tons of ingredients, that are quick. When I retired, I got into French baking uh, and cooking. It's something I really wanted to do. But I'll tell you, those old fashioned recipes, they're just wonderful. The next time I make these, I'm going to make them with apricot filling. I think those would be delicious. David loves dates, so I was happy to make him the date bars, but I really want to try with apricot inside. Thanks so much for being here with us. I would appreciate if you would press that like button, subscribe, and share. We really appreciate it. And I just can't wait to see you again. Bye, friends.